Hi, my name is Tiago Duarte and welcome to another video tutorial here at DailyBeats. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can add several folders to the plugin folders in Ableton. So the custom folder of plugins that you can set up in Ableton. I will show you how you can add multiple folders with that functionality. And before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. And also, if you like my content, consider supporting this channel by buying one of my products at DailyBeats.pt or become a premium or exclusive member, and you will have access to exclusive tutorials about music production and also to the project files of the tutorials that I do here for this channel. So let's start the tutorial, and the first thing I'm going to do is I will go to options, so to change the folder where you have your plugins. And why I'm doing this? I'm doing this because normally when I install plugins, I don't usually put them in one single folder, and there are a couple of predefined folders for plugins in Windows and also on Mac. But for Windows, I will show you the folders, and normally the installation, depending on the manufacturer of the plugin, will have different default folders when you install. And normally I just click yes, 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 and finish. And that's normally what I do. Why? Because FL Studio, which I'm mostly a user of FL Studio, comes with a functionality that allows you to add multiple folders, and then you can scan all the plugins inside those folders that you selected, and it will create the database based on those folders and the plugins that are inside of that folder. But here in Ableton is a little bit different because you only have one folder that you can customize, and I think that's a very, very big limitation. And I talked about this in the last video that I did about this subject in Portuguese, and I think that for a company like this with a very complex software like this, having just one folder to set up, I think it's a very big limitation. But yeah, I'm not here trying to judge which one is better than the other one, because I like both. Both serve the purpose of making music. They have different workflows. They are aimed to different producers and different styles and different genres. So I'm not here to bash one over the other one, and vice versa. I'm just here to give I'm here to show you the nice points and the bad points, but it's up to you to decide which one you want to use. So let's go ahead and grab here a Explorer window, and here in my local disk C, you will find where is the operating system. You will find two folders which contain all the programs that you have, or at least which should contain all the programs you have. You can install everything, whatever you want. But here, this programs, it's in Portuguese, it's called programas, but it's the same as programs. And here we have two folders, one called x86 and one without anything. So my CPU is a 64-bit AMD processor, and all the folders, for instance, this folder here is for applications that support 64-bit, and here is for legacy applications that run on 32-bit. And you can actually launch, for instance, FL Studio in a 32-bit version and also on a 64-bit version. So you can launch both. And for instance, plugins that are in 64 will only run in 64. Plugins that are in 32-bit will run on the 32-bit application and also on the 64-bit application. And at least in FL Studio, I'm not sure about Ableton, but in FL Studio they have a wrapper that allows you to use 32-bit plugins in a 64-bit DAW environment, let's say, something like that. So let's go first to this one, and if you see here, it's program files x86. It's just a translation here. But if I go down, you will find a folder called VST plugins. This is the folder where normally your plugins are located. And if I open up, you will see that I have a couple of plugins here. And I have a couple of folders, so it doesn't matter how it's structured inside of this VST plugins folder. What it matters is that your plugins are there. And all the plugins that are here, if you add just this folder, it will index only these plugins here inside of this folder. The problem is that normally I have this 32, remember x86 is 32-bit application, and I have it here. Doesn't mean that all the plugins here are 32. It can have 64. It's just again, you can install everything everywhere and it will run okay. But here, as you can see, we can have pretty much this will be the 32-bit version of the plugins. And if I go here, we have another folder called Steinberg. And here we have another folder inside the Steinberg, which is called VST plugins. And there are a couple more plugins. So all my plugins are installed in these two folders. And if you go, there are more folders that I'm not going to bother right now because it's for VST3. And I don't care that much because I mostly have the VST2 plugins. This is versions, and this is Steinberg, which is the creator of this format, because you can have several formats for VSTs, for plugins. You can have VST, you can have audio unit for Mac, for instance. You can have RTAS for I think it was just for Pro Tools. So you can have several let's say, I don't want to say protocols because they are not protocols, but several different ways to create plugins, and then they can have both extensions. So they can be audio units, RTAS, and I think there are a couple more, and VST, but I'm just focusing here on VSTs because that's what I have pretty much on Windows. That's the most generic format for VSTs, for plugins actually, sorry. And if I go here again to local C, and if I go to programs, you will see that I will also have the VST plugins folder here, and I have also another set of plugins, and you can see that now we have underscore x64, which means that these DLLs are 64-bit. And if I go here, I will have also a Steinberg folder with a couple more VSTs and or DLLs or files or plugins, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, we still have also some called x86, which is nice. So if to change the folder, I will explain you right a little bit what is the fix. I don't want to just go here and show you, oh, I did this. I want to give you a little bit of introduction of what are plugins and how they work and whatever, all this stuff. And that's why I don't give you the full answer in 1 minute or something. So if we go here to preferences, and if you go to file folder, you can see here plugin sources, and you can rescan plugins. You can use VST plugin custom folder and VST plugin custom folder. You can browse it here, and you can select it, and you can enable it here, and you can rescan the full folder for to have those to update the database, the plugins database. So my fix was really simple. I just came here, I went to programs, in the 32-bit folder, which again, it doesn't matter where I put it. I could put it on my window, on my desktop here, on my desktop, and it would work the same way. So I created a new folder called VST Plugins Ableton, and inside of this folder I just created shortcuts. So if you go, for instance, to this one here, VST Plugins, and you go to send to, and you can send, sorry, this is in Portuguese because my Windows is in Portuguese, and you can create a shortcut for the desktop, and it will create a shortcut on the desktop, and you can edit the name and then put it in this folder. And I did this for both, for the four folders that I have, which are the Steinberg VST plugins for 64-bit, for 32-bit, and the VST plugins folder for 64-bit and 32-bit. If I go here to properties, you will see that we have C / program files x86 VST plugins, and I call it here x86. And if I go to this one, you will see that I have also VST plugins without the x86, which means it's a 64-bit version. And after you do this, you can rescan the plugins, and it will take a while because if this is already set up, so it's already created the database and recognize the plugins. But if you are not, if this is the first time you are doing this, you will be able to, it will take a little bit more time. So let's close this, and now if I go to plugins, I will have the same folders, for instance, VST Steinberg, VST plugins, and VST plugins x86. And if I open now, you will see that I have all my plugins here, and this is quite nice because now I can have the full range of my plugin library here in Ableton. And I can show you, for instance, I can send here Analog Lab from Arturia. I think it's Arturia, no? No, probably not. I'm not sure, whatever. So let's listen. I can put my headphones, okay. Okay, yeah, you can put whatever you want. Okay, so I was messing around here, and as you can see, it's working. Now I can put, for instance, Mini Grand, which is a piano from Air, and it would work the same way. Let me see, where is my pedal? Okay, and this is it, guys. This was a short video. It was just me showing you how to set up the plugins here in Ableton, because that's a problem that I had in the past, and I was a little bit it was a little bit limiting, I would say, if that's the word that I'm looking for. So it's not having your full plugins library in your DAW. It's a little bit frustrating because you want sounds that you are used to, and you can't find plugins because they are not recognized in the DAW. That's why I say this is a very big limitation from Ableton, and I think they have such amazing product that this would be a no-brainer. But yeah, we have to do these workarounds to have this work, and it is what it is. Probably in the future they will change. I also have just Ableton 9 lit, so I don't know if 10 it has already this fixed, but yeah, it is what it is. So this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it helpful, and I know it's a little bit, it's like 15 minutes just to show you how to do this, but I want to also give you some context, explain you the different what are plugins, what are not, and the different formats that can be. And yeah, so this is it, guys. If you are new here to this channel, subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Also consider supporting this channel by buying one of my products at DailyBeatsVI or become a premium or exclusive member, and you will have access to exclusive tutorials about music production and also to the project files of the tutorials that I do here for this channel. So this is it, guys. My name is Tiago Duarte, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.